Lazurus, season 1, episode 4. Don't stop the dance. They are really getting into this, finding Skinner, and they are stumbling upon some stuff that I didn't think I was going to see. So let's talk about it. All right, so welcome back, Event. So this is episode 4 of Lazurus. Again, this has been a really good show in the vein of Cowboy Bebop. So, again, it has that feel, it has that appeal. Like I'm really liking it. We are getting into finding Dr. 909, who was found out at the last episode, maybe having something to do with Skinner and what Skinner's going on, like maybe helping hide him, do some transactions, whatever the case may be. So they got to investigate. They got to figure out what the deal is. So they end up finding Dr. 909's hidden wallet for digital currency, mainly cryptocurrency. And there's a guy named Sam who deposited into 909's account. So now we got the Sam we got to figure out. We got to figure out Dr. 909. Sam Stevenson's a stock trader. So apparently this guy has been making buku bucks and stuff. And he's got a nightclub scene downtown. And he's just kind of doing his thing. He's a real sleazeball, apparently. But he's been working with, Dr. 909 to, I guess, do whatever he needs to do to make sure money's getting made and they're able to keep this club up and do all this, crazy stuff. But he's only the best and he likes to pick up girls and kind of do his thing. Like, okay, what's really going on here? Like, are we doing some kind of crazy stuff or is he just, garden variety dirtbag? What's happening? The team goes undercover with Leland in a dress. So Chris is dolled up, freaking Doug and Axel looking snazzy, and Leland's in the dress because again he's the insurance policy for being a another young girl to help lure in Sam and see if we can get his attention because he likes to pick up girls. So having a wild party girl within Chris and then having the more or less innocent shy girl with Leland, they kind of playing both sides of the fence here to see what he's about, like who he's trying to go after. So as they're doing this, the past 2 weeks of physical deposits made into Dr. 909's accounts that have been done in ATMs all around the world, and they've been done by a kind of a hooded figure. And so Elena's like, okay, I got to figure this out and figure out where these ATMs are because it's just several different countries, but they're physical deposits. So unless you're paying somebody to go make these deposits or you're physically going to do them yourself, something's going on. How are you getting around and doing all this stuff? So, and this is over the past 2 weeks. So we find out this club 8 miles high. So big skyscraper club in their helicopter landing pad, all the kind of bells and whistles, big neon lights, great DJ booths. Like it's like a fancy swanky club, right? So Axel finds out that the VIP has to have a special like golden kind of tattoo that you're able to get into the VIP. Whereas, if somebody has a tattoo and they got, hey, these guys are with me, then they're able to get in. So he's either got to get in good with somebody or he's got to get a hold of one of these tattoos and make his way in. So in the process of this, he ends up finding a guy who's been drinking at the bar while he's talking to Chris, who's putting everything on his tab, and sees a guy with a tattoo who is kind of blitzed. Needless to say, follows him to the bathroom, knocks him out, scans his tattoo to set himself with an entrance into the VIP. That's his whole plan. Chris finds out that Sam arrives with the DJ. They always arrive together, and they usually arrive by helicopter. And after Sam arrives with that, we see that Leland is one of the ones that gets picked up to go into the VIP area. While Chris, of course, is like, why not get picked up? And Axel making jokes like, well, we know who's the more attractive one. He immediately regrets that statement. But Chris goes to find Leland and is like, come on, we don't want to be late. And basically managed to smooch her way in to be one of the girls that's picked up. And of course, the other girls that are there who are really excited to see Sam and they heard about this cool DJ is going to be there. They're very excited and, of course, jealous that Leland, is cutting in to, get to the front of the line more or less. So after this goes on, we find out that Sam is, of course, this rude little chauvinistic pig saying that women don't know nothing and they don't know about stock, whatever. Just being a real putz, like just don't care for him at all. And the DJ is there too. And DJ's kind of a little more laid back, and he's not really with all the girls like that, but he takes a liking to Leland. Because again, remember, Leland is dressed up like a young lady, but he likes the innocence. That's what his kind of thing is. He doesn't like all the everybody seeing like a bunch of sluts. He likes the innocent ones that are, more down to earth or whatever the case may be. But because he's got to go do his DJ set, he tells an employee freaking like, hey, make sure this one doesn't leave while he goes to go do his set. And it's like, yeah, you're on it. You're not just a guy who's here, like you on that same hook. I mean, you hanging out with Sam, so I'm not surprised, but that just further solidified freaking make sure she don't leave so I can go do my stuff and come back and she better be here type stuff. Nah, I ain't about that life. But that's his setup during to go do his DJ thing. All right. After that is set up, we see that Eleina finds out and she's able to pinpoint the ATM guy. She goes through like several little screen things and is searching to figure out, who it is. Come to find out that the DJ, who's DJ Visionary, is actually the guy making the ATM deposits. Same guy. They do little things, so they figure that out, and they got to relay that to the team. While they're figuring this stuff out, we see that Sam has got all the girls drugged because they were all drinking the fruit punch out of the bowl. So he spiked the punch, got them all drugged, and he's planning for him and his crew of lackeys to have their way with the girls because, again, freaking they're not going to remember anything, and they're pretty much rendered inoperable at this point. So at that, real sleazebag move to do. We do not condone any of that kind of stuff here. Like I am abhorrently against any type of behavior like that. That is completely freaking wrong. And again, but they're showing it because this is what happens when people that they're still taking hop. No, they're hyped up on everything. They are doing the most, and they are doing whatever floats their boat, whatever they feel fancy. So these girls are getting ready to take advantage of it. And thankfully, we see that Chris she has some type of immunity to the drugs. So she calls these like weak. She stands up and she starts smacking him around like, you think you're just gonna come in here and take advantage and do what you want to do? Nah, she beats the crap out of him and it sends him flying over the edge to land right on top of the DJ, and then proceeds to go to work on everybody else that runs up on her, hence protecting the girls and taking down some sleazebags. When this is going on, you see that Doug and Axel have managed to sneak their way into VIP, but they got caught because they're like, yeah, them tattoos, something ain't right about that. Freaking, we got to question y'all. And once they get the opening with, Sam being knocked off the balcony, Doug and Axel end up going to work on these boys, man, passing all that because Doug already spotted, who's carrying weapons and stuff like that. And basically they go to work, and Doug, once he gets a pistol in his hand, that man starts ringing down shots like he's handling business. Same thing with Chris. She gets hold of one, laying out shots or something like that. So basically they're going back and forth, and they're pretty much beating everybody into submission. And we see that Leland is trying to make a getaway from the guy who's watching, and we see Chris defend Leland to make sure that Leland can get away. In the process of this, we see Sam and DJ, like they're trying to make a run for it. They go to escape towards the helicopter. Doug, Chris, and Axel still fighting off everything while Leland's like, I'll get the car. And basically he does an automated thing to get the car to, pull up around, and they continue to give chase. So it's like Doug and Leland head towards the car while Axel and Chris give chase towards the helicopter. And the helicopter, Sam and DJ get in and they start to fly off the helicopter. And you see Axel with his craziness, and again, he's all about luck, jumps off the building after the helicopter and manages to grab onto one of the rails. Like completely wild. Like, what are you doing, man? But again, he bought this life. So he's hanging on to the helicopter, and the DJ and Sam are like trying to get him, like, shake him off. And DJ's not doing much talking, but Sam's like, yo, helicopter. It's an automated helicopter. I need you to shake him off. I'm not authorized to do that. You better shake them off. He's booting the helicopter like, I'm not authorized to do that. I don't care. Shake him off. And eventually he is shaken off. But because Leland and Doug are following the car, Leland activates this, there's a big drone that's built into the back of the car. So pretty much it turns like a El Camino, but the back of the drone, which is the back of the car, comes off, flies up to catch Axel as he falls. And while it does, it has a nice little present, a nice little rifle strapped to the back of it that Axel's able to get a hold of. Leland, basically controlling drone, gets him back up there, and he's able to shoot down the helicopter as they're panicking, still trying to yell at the computer to run, smash into him, dodge, evade, whatever. So that, and eventually once he gets shut down, you see the computer answer back, I told you I can't do that. So that freaking, and it crashes. So Absolutely hilarious. Once it goes down, and then Axel pretty much lands on top of it because there's a piece of the helicopter sticking out the water, and we see the Sam and DJ survive. So during this point in time, it's like, all right, they survive. What's going on? What do they go? Do they got information? And Axel's got to make gunpoint, like, hey, I need to know about Skinner. What's going on? Neither of them know about Skinner apparently, and they're just like, I don't know, like what you're talking about. So that then how did you do whatever? And then DJ is like, who is revealed to be Dr. 909. He's been Dr. 909 this entire time. Is like, what do you know about Skinner? He's like, I don't know anything. All I know is the information I got for the stocks and getting all the money was through Delta Medicinal. Like, I had insider information and stuff, more or less. And he's like, give it to me. He's like, no, I don't want to, because that's the source of his money. But of course, Sam is like, I'm not trying to get taken out here. It snatches off of, like, give it to him. So he gave it to him. He's like, we're all good. Axel's like, yeah, appreciate it. And then stomps on the helicopter, freaking to send it the rest of the way into the water, pretty much pulling him with it, and then jumps on the drone and flies off. We see later on, like, once they're back at the crib, chilling out, we see that Sam and the DJ, who's been exposed as Dr. 909, are both arrested. One for leaking secrets, but both basically for insider trading, because that's what it was. One was leaking and one was taking advantage of being able to utilize all that stuff. And that's just what they were arrested on there. Freaking, if the rest of their heinous acts get underway, or freaking like add all those to the charges, because they need the book thrown at them, period. All right. Basically, the team is like, all right, well, we got to find out about Delta Medicinal, because they apparently knew the dangers of Hapna and what was going on with Hapna. And we end up cutting to a lab scene where we see a bunch of monkeys in the lab that were apparently being tested on, so that, and we see them start, some of them start to fade and pass out. So it's like, yeah, they knew what this would do after X amount of time, or whatever the case may be. So they are liable, and they probably know where Skinner is or whatever's going on. So they need to be investigated left, and we know that we got 24 days left to investigate out of 30. So about a week has gone by, and this was going down. So again, the show is getting good. More and more. It's more intriguing. More pieces are being added to the puzzle. Again, I still think I saw Skinner last episode, episode 3, sitting in a homeless camp. But again, I could be mistaken. Things are going on. So I love to say this is one of the best episodes as far as action-wise. We got some really cool scenes. We got kind of like a little dance scene between Axel and Chris as they were fighting. They were kind of dancing, and she was shooting the gun, and he was moving her hand around to make sure she was hitting targets. Like, it was great. So this was a good one. The episodes have been solid. Again, I don't know how many episodes this is. I still need to look it up. But again, hey, if you're like me and you don't have Adult Swim cables for that, check it out on Max. I think it's also on Hulu. Again, the day after it drops. So really good show. I'm happy with it. If you're happy with hearing me talk about it, make sure you hit that lovely red subscribe button. Again, appreciate each and every one of y'all, and we'll continue to keep this up to date as quickly as possible. Again, we just dropped Last of Us episode 3, so go check that out if you haven't already. And again, because we're so in anime, so that we're going to be visiting MomoCon in Atlanta, and we're going to be going to hang out there. So if you're interested in going to MomoCon and meeting up with us or saying hi, whatever the case may be, cool, check it out. If you've never been to MomoCon and curious about going in the future with that, we're going to try and have some content from the floor, just what we see, what we do, and kind of stuff that we participate in. So we would love for you to check out that content, tell me what you're thinking. Hey, maybe you'll be able to, go down to MomoCon and check it out, because again, it's a great anime convention for a lot of people in Atlanta. So that's all I got for this one. I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.